Hi, what's up, you guys? Darren here, and to all my Chinese friends, 兔年快乐，恭喜发财，家庭幸福安康. To kickstart my first video for the Lunar New Year, I decided to show you all how we can all retire comfortably beyond age 65. Even with a modest household income of $6,000 a month, and without ever needing to save any of your salary over a time period of 30 years. Let us take a look. So this is a story of two friends, Tom and Pete, right? And in this illustration, this is what it is. The income is $6,000 per household, right? Age 25 years old, and the property they're going to buy is at $450,000, a resale property. Loan tenure will be 30 years, and a mortgage rate of $1,260. Right now, for these illustrations, there will be some assumptions that the income will remain constant throughout. They will sell the property in 30 years' time, and they'll be at age 55 at that time. And the installments will be also constant at 1,260, and they will sell at a time at $600,000, and they will spend all their money every year or every month, right? Now, so for Tom, his household mindset is that he doesn't believe or they do not believe in keeping their CPF in their ordinary account, and they'll use their CPF for their monthly installments, and they believe in enjoying now, right? The YOLO mindset. So how is it going to look like? He will have a down payment of $105,000, and where does this money come from? It comes from the HDB grants, yep, and a mortgage at 1,260. Again, this is going to be paid by CPF. And then he decides to downgrade, sells the property at $600,000. Let us now take a look at what is his CPF owing after 30 years. So this is a breakdown for the compound interest calculator. You can see here, this is the principal amount that he first used, right? $105,000. And this is the monthly deposit, which is the mortgage amount he's paying every month. Over a period of 30 years, it should be 360 months at 2.5 annual interest rate. So you can see that the total principal, which is the total that he has used from his account, is $558,000. The total interest that actually came out from this over 30 years is $334,000, meaning to say that he will then need to return to his CPF $893,000. So this is what it will look like. Yep. Because he has been paying with his OA on a monthly basis, that will then mean that there is no more balance in his ordinary account 30 years later. His total CPF use, as what we said earlier, right? So this is total CPF he has to return, $893,000, but you can see that he only sold the property for $600K, right? So this is what we deem as a negative sale. So in essence, it is like as if he has lost $293,000 if he would have otherwise left it inside his ordinary account. So after selling the property at age 55, he has a total wealth just based on this of $600,000. That would mean that he's now left with $600K to downgrade to a smaller flat and have the leftover for their golden years. Alright, so now let's take a look at his buddy Pete. So Pete, he is the same as Tom, isn't it? The mindset of family is they believe in enjoying now, the same YOLO mindset. But unlike Tom, he is aware of their spending behavior, right? He understands the power of compounding interest. And he's fine to be a little bit uncomfortable because every month he had to take out cash to pay for the installments, right? And therefore, he uses cash to pay for his monthly installment. So this is what it will look like. Exactly the same as Tom, $105,000 because of the grant. But the only difference is that instead of now using his CPF to pay, he uses it in cash. Again, he decided to downgrade, right? Now, because he has always been using his CPF to pay on a monthly basis, that would mean that he would then save the 1,260 that he would otherwise, or rather, from his salary and from the employer's portion, he will accumulate this amount slowly in his account for the next 30 years, right? And then the total amount will amount to $672,000. Now, how does this come out? It's calculated based on a zero principal amount at 1,260 over 30 years at a 2.5 rate. It will mean that in total, his money and the employer's money will come out to $453K. Yep, and the total interest that CPF board pays him to leave his money in the account is $219,000. So in total, after 30 years, he would have about $672,000. Yeah. So this is what he has. If you break this down, the CPF that he has used initially 105. Now this also compounds the interest. Over 30 years, he will owe himself, or rather he had to pay off himself $115,000. And this is a total CPF to be returned. Now this is not important at this point in time because it will mean that he has sold $600,000, right? This is money he will receive back to his account. And he has a balance OA of $672,000. It will then mean that his total wealth, unlike Tom, right? Or this is an error, this is not Tom's wealth, this is only Pete's wealth. Pete's wealth would be $1.272 million. Alright, and this is all just from leveraging on the CPF platform. So I hope you can see the options available to him is vastly different from Tom, right? Even if he has to right size to another HDB flat, he will have a lot left over for their golden years. Alright, and I hope this illustration gives you a good understanding of the power of compounding interest. And to all of you who actually feels that the cash of 1260 would be better off in an ETF, and that is perfectly fine too. That makes sense, right? But I personally feel that you have to be honest with yourself that this can be done monthly, and the interest will be reinvested over time for you to enjoy the compounding effect over the next 30 years. And not one whereby it has a lot of breaks in between, so that, you know, at least this would justify to you why you withdraw your money away from a CPF first when it is from a risk-free account. Okay guys, I hope this makes sense to you and you have a great start to 2023, and speak to all of you soon.